Kurt Busch reveals he has been tricked. Where does Kurt Busch's story end? The legendary racer hasn't totally healed from the injuries he suffered on July 23rd in Pocono, and although many had hoped he would be stronger than ever, we recently learned some depressing news about his future, to the point that Kurt Busch claims he's been tricked. What exactly happened? Well, let's find out. Hello NASCAR fans, welcome back to NASCAR Live. But before we begin, subscribe to our channel and make sure you hit that like button. And let's begin. In addition to losing his spot in the 2311 racing team, Kurt's participation in the 2023 season is uncertain. The broadcasting services were where we had planned to see him imparting his wisdom. We have been confronted with a hard truth for which only a few of us were ready. Kurt Busch's career ended unsatisfactorily, mostly because the damage sustained by his body in the Pocono collision left him beyond simple rehabilitation. Kurt Busch is now listed as a part-time driver in 2023 after being sidelined for the remainder of the 2022 season. Along with Jimmy Johnson, his name has not yet been revealed. The fact that Kurt wanted to concentrate on his broadcasting career and that Fox Sports is probably going to take it away from him is very unfortunate for him. Busch is regarded as a very likable and respected person in NASCAR because of his vast knowledge of the sport and his talent in it. Thus, Busch's fan base would like to see him participate in NASCAR more frequently. Furthermore, just because Busch's presence in NASCAR has been taken away from us for a few more seasons of good racing doesn't always imply that we deserve to lose Busch entirely. However, it appears that this is going to be the future for all NASCAR fans and all Busch fans as well, as revealed by a recent statement made by veteran NASCAR reporter Lee Spencer of RacingBoys.com, who hinted that Kurt Busch may be appearing more frequently than originally anticipated. This anticipation, however, was crushed by recent Fox Sports decisions after the broadcasting service learned that Jeff Gordon would be departing them after the 2021 season to concentrate on his responsibilities at Hendrick Motorsports. The network relies heavily on a rotating cast of cast members, including people like Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Danica Patrick, as opposed to hiring a full-time substitute. They are all ex-NASCAR drivers. Therefore, it goes without saying that they are all extremely knowledgeable whenever they sit in a broadcasting service. Because of this, many people believe that Busch would make a great addition to this position. However, Fox suddenly shifted their regular course of action, and now it's said that Fox Sports is waiting for Kevin Harvick's retirement, which is probably going to happen sooner rather than later, in order to employ him as a commentator for them full-time. Due to the widespread expectation that Harvick will retire following the 2023 season, he will be free before starting a full-time job, and the signing of Harvick suggests that Fox Sports wants to adopt a more conventional and traditional strategy rather than continuing to rotate crews, which many people had expected they would do. The negative news for Busch is absent, though. The reason they didn't give Kurt Busch the response he was asking for appears to be that he isn't on Fox's shortlist for a full-time position. In a recent episode of Pit Reporters, Lee Spencer brought up the subject, and he verified our worst fears, that Kurt Busch will leave the sport. It seems that way because when I spoke with Kurt, he said, "Hey, I'd love to do the first 7 races," and he wasn't met with the same enthusiasm he was hoping for. As a result, he'll be working with Fox quite a bit, though perhaps not as much as he'd like. It's odd how one accident, even one that didn't seem to be as severe as what Busch had experienced, could have affected a driver's life after Pocono in such a profound way. Many of us believe that Kurt Busch would return to the upcoming events. The injuries he acquired, though, aren't ones to play around with, as has been clear as time has gone on. And as a result, he was compelled to consider retirement considerably earlier than anyone had imagined. What does Busch's present and future hold? He would undoubtedly have the chance to drive at Martinsville Speedway, Richmond Raceway, and Bristol Motor Speedway, where he's won 10 of his 34 appearances, if he decides to leave the booth after the first 7 races. While Fox's handling of Busch is rather disappointing, it doesn't necessarily imply that we will bid final goodbye to one of the drivers we have enjoyed watching. His entry into the Cup Series is probably going to come at Las Vegas Motor Speedway earlier than everyone anticipates because NASCAR will be present in the sport. It would be the greatest venue for Kurt to make a comeback since it's his home track and many people are hoping to see him in action once more. Busch's concussion, which he sustained at Pocono, proved to be his career's killer blow. Busch didn't anticipate this conclusion even though he survived. He's now content that he was able to attend a racing weekend in 2023. Although he missed the second half of the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series, he has healed well and will drive part-time for 23 X1 Racing. This is something that he is cheering up for. He sustained the concussion while racing for this team, and they publicly stated that he may return home whenever he felt like it. They also expressed their sincere regret at having to replace him with Tyler Reddick. In this manner, life continues, and when addressing this issue, Denny Hamlin noted that Busch could have any position he desired with the team, whether that be driving, working in the front office, or even both. But Hamlin himself must make a decision regarding his future goals because, as of now, things don't appear promising for him at Joe Gibbs Racing. The team's likely to lose his primary sponsor, FedEx, which will eventually force him to assume management responsibilities since he is also a co-owner of 23X1 Racing. Everyone was taken aback by Busch's inability to race in 2022 and by the preparations made for the 2004 Cup Series winner in 2023. In all honesty, if you don't feel fully driven to drive, it's the proper choice to stop participating in the sport. Busch mentioned this when he declared his retirement from competitive racing. Busch continued, "I know I'm not completely confident in my ability to go out and race at the top level in the NASCAR Cup Series. These are the best of the best drivers, and lately I haven't felt my best, and if I'm cleared, maybe you'll see me in a few select races." Reddick had already been contracted by 23XI Racing to take Busch's spot beginning in 2024, but no one could have predicted that Busch's injuries would keep him out for the remainder of the 2022 season and the entire 2023 season as well. Although we still welcome Busch's involvement in NASCAR in the 2023 season, we weren't very excited about it before the Pocono Raceway. Instead, we're delighted to see him largely in the broadcasting and as a part-time driver role. What is more certain is that fans will be delighted to see Busch take on a leadership position in a team, which could be his next step. And besides, he has a close relationship with Denny Hamlin, who co-owns that team and is thinking of retiring from full-time racing after 2023 due to the incidents at JGR. You can be confident that Busch has what it takes to guide the team to a World Series victory if this ends up being his fate in the future, mainly because he has the capacity to identify talents that are available and waiting to be developed into championship contenders. It is far easier said than done to win championships in NASCAR, which is still a tremendously competitive sport. But it's clear that Kurt Busch would be more than motivated to steer a driver and a team in this direction, given what he's been through in his career. Fox Sports and 23XI Racing are the areas where Busch may find a new home, and these are the places where we would be more than delighted to have Kurt continue his passion for NASCAR. Now the ball's in Hamlin's court. Any NASCAR fan would undoubtedly find it exciting to see him compete once more, but all we can do is hope that he does. What do you think will happen with Busch's NASCAR career? Let us know in the comments below. On the other hand, the entry of NASCAR stars into the short track racing industry might spark a buying frenzy. You can understand what Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Burton, Kevin Harvick, and Justin Marks accomplished on Monday if you picture Los Angeles Angels star Mike Trout purchasing a AAA baseball team. The top racing series with its roots in the Atlantic coast, the Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour, was announced as having been owned by the Four. Marks, who co-owns Trackhouse Racing in the Cup Series, claimed that asphalt late model racing was the basis for NASCAR. Bringing a group like this together will assist the racer and viewer, Marks added. This isn't the last time you'll hear about a bargain like this under any circumstances. For me, this is a dream come true, said Dale Earnhardt Jr. The late model series will continue to be managed by Jack McNally and Keely Dubinsky, who founded the Cars Tour in 2014. However, they will now answer to the new ownership group, which consists of Justin Marks, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Burton, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. The 2023 calendar features 19 events in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia from March to November. For well-known NASCAR drivers like William Byron, Ty Gibbs, Harrison Burton, and Josh Berry, the series served as an early testing ground. All four of the new owners have driven in the past or are now involved in the sport as drivers. Earnhardt and Harvick, whose JR Motorsports dominates the NASCAR Xfinity Series and whose firm management organization handles drivers, could stand to gain the most from a project that kickstarts the careers of drivers. According to Earnhardt's statement announcing the deal, "This is a dream come true for me. I love watching local short track racing and the Cars Tour. There are some of the best drivers in the world, along with the competition and tracks. The level of racing you see at the top level depends on these regional series. I'm honored to be a part of the future of the Cars Tour, which Jack's done a fantastic job of developing as a premier series. It's possible that the Cars Tour is just the start. In the upcoming years, expect to see more purchases of racing series and tracks, whether they come from the likes of Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Burton, Kevin Harvick, and Justin Marks, or other individuals with ties to NASCAR. Earnhardt and Marks are familiar with the NASCAR business model because they own teams in the premier racing league in the nation. In addition to running the 3 national series and many of the venues they do, NASCAR also negotiates media agreements and series sponsorships. Owners have little control over how much money pours through the spigot in NASCAR, and drivers have no say in the matter. As a result, they're going deeper, while people with names like Earnhardt and Harvick have influence with fans and smaller teams. They already have relationships with sponsors who are accustomed to writing checks, and these relationships may result in improvements to purses, publicity, and attendance. According to Jack McNally, the founder of the Cars Tour, owning and growing the Cars Tour has been an accomplishment and one I'm tremendously proud of. Thank goodness this new team has it in the best of hands. I'm eager to find out what this new chapter has in store for all parties involved. Kyle Larson and Tony Stewart have already taken this route. The purchasing of the Cars Tour is not unusual. Tony Stewart, a member of the NASCAR Hall of Fame, essentially created the business plan for investing in racing. Although he co-founded the Superstar Racing Experience, or SRX series in 2021, he has a longer background than that. He's the owner of Ohio's Eldora Speedway, which will once again stage a race with a $1 million prize for the victor. In 2015, he also acquired the All-Star Circuit of Champions, a 410 wing sprint car circuit with a strong history. The 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion Kyle Larson and his brother-in-law Brad Sweet are creating a new series from scratch as opposed to purchasing an existing one. They established the High Limit Sprint Car Series, which had a test run the previous year. 12 events are scheduled for 10 different states in 2023. Larson Series has a $1.3 million prize pool, and Justin Marks, the owner of Trackhouse Racing, just revealed that his new marketing company is sponsoring one of the events. And that ends today's episode. We sincerely hope you enjoyed our video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see even more incredible videos.